Welcome to my YouTube channel for the new EdTech classroom. My name is Kary, and in this video series, I'm showcasing lesson plan ideas as well as free technology programs that you can use when teaching your students online. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a program called Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is an amazing program that allows you to customize the video content that you show to your students. I know I use video content a lot with my students, whether in class or during remote teaching. Video is obviously a great way to help students better understand a topic. But one of the problems I've found with video content is that it can be challenging to understand whether or not my students are understanding the material. Edpuzzle addresses this issue by allowing you to add questions to your video that students have to answer in order to proceed forward. You can also cut out parts of videos that you don't want, as well as add your own voiceover. I think Edpuzzle should be part of every teacher's toolkit, and I'm really excited to show you how to use this program. If you find the tips that I share in this video helpful, please hit the like button, share it with other teachers that you know, and consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any of my weekly updates. Let's look at two examples of how Edpuzzle might fit within the bigger picture of a lesson plan that I would use during remote teaching. Here you can see in this lesson plan that I included a hyperlink to an Edpuzzle video to help my students build an academic skill about counterarguments. After they've watched the video, they'll apply that skill to the topic that they're learning. Here I'm using Edpuzzle as a way to build my students' content understanding about different Greek gods. Edpuzzle has 3 tiers of pricing. The basic version is free to use, and it will allow you to import your class, use all the different features of Edpuzzle, as well as provide you with some minimal storage. The main difference with the Pro version is that you're going to get a significant upgrade in terms of how many video lessons you can store in your Edpuzzle account. You can also get access to Edpuzzle Pro as an entire school or as an entire school district. So now let's jump in and take a look at the most important features you need to know to get started using Edpuzzle with your students. First, let's talk about how to import your students into your Edpuzzle account. You're going to want to click on My Classes on the top right-hand side of the screen. Then on the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to click Add New Class. You'll have an option to either create a class on your own or import all your students' names from Google Classroom. Since I'm a Google Classroom user, I'm going to go ahead and click Google Classroom. Next, you'll see a list of all the Google Classrooms that you have set up. In order to import that class list, just click on the Google Classroom you want to import and then select Import Classes. Once you've imported your class, if you click on the Students tab, you'll see the names of all the students that are enrolled in your Google Classroom now in your Edpuzzle account. Now let's look at how to customize a video lesson for your students. You'll want to make sure you're on the My Content tab. Then you'll go to the blue Add Content button on the top right-hand side of your screen. You'll see a drop-down menu, and I'm going to go ahead and choose Create a Video. You'll see here that Edpuzzle is already synced with several different academic channels. For example, if you click on Crash Course, you'll see that only Crash Course videos come up, and if you enter a term in the search box, it will only look for Crash Course videos about that topic. Probably the most common channel you'll end up using is YouTube. Since I'm teaching Greek mythology, I'm going to go ahead and look for a YouTube video about Zeus. After you enter your search term, you'll see that you have a bunch of different videos to choose from. If you already know about a specific YouTube video that you want to use, you can also just go directly to YouTube, find that video, copy the link to that video, and then paste it in the search box in Edpuzzle so that that specific video pops up. Now that you've chosen your video, you're going to see that you have 3 main customization options. You can cut the video, you can add voiceover to the video, and you can add questions to the video. When I choose to cut videos, I usually do that to either just shorten the duration of the video, or in the case of this video, when the video creator is talking just more generally about his channel at the very end of the video, I'll cut that part out so that my students aren't watching that part of the video. To cut the video, you can either drag the time bar to the exact place where you want your cut to begin, or you can enter a specific timestamp where you want to start the cut. After you hit Add Cut, you'll see that the cut appears in the video layer. To complete the cut, drag over the area where you want your video to be cut so that that section is grayed out. Now let's look at how to add a voiceover. Adding a voiceover will replace the audio in the video with your own voice. So for example, you might want to give your own introduction to the video that explains to students why they're watching the video rather than use the audio that's already in the video. In order to add your own voiceover, click Start Recording, say what you want to say, and then click Stop Recording. Hit the play button to preview your voiceover, and then if you want to get rid of it, you can just hit the trash can icon. By far the most important part of Edpuzzle is adding questions to the video. On the Questions tab, you'll see that there are actually 3 different types of questions you can add. You can add a multiple choice question, an open-ended question, or you could post a note on a particular section of the video. The most common type of question that I use is a multiple choice question. What I usually do when making my own questions is watch the video, and then when something important comes up, I'll click pause and then select multiple choice question. Here you can see that you can write your own question. And then after I've written the question, I always like to start with the correct answer first. When you write your correct answer, you do want to make sure that the green check is selected next to that answer so that it is graded correctly. After you've written your correct answer, you can write some incorrect answers. After you've written your incorrect answer, make sure that you've selected the red X. And then to make it a little bit more challenging for students, you can also add more answer choices by clicking on the Add button below. You'll see that you also have some different options for how you could further customize the question that you ask. You could add an additional link that you want your students to go to, or you could also upload a picture. After you finish creating your question, make sure you hit the blue Save button at the bottom. In addition to a question, you could also post a note for your students. Your students won't interact with the note, but you might want to use a note if you want to draw your students' attention to a particular part of the video or add some supplemental information that you think your students would need to know. When creating a note, you're going to have the option to either type it or click on the microphone to record yourself speaking the note. Once you've finished typing your note, first click Save, and then to move on to more questions, click Continue. The last type of question you can add to your video is an open-ended question. I usually put open-ended questions at the very end of my video, and I might ask my students something more broad, like what did you learn in this particular video? And if you're ready to assign this video to your students, you're first going to click on the blue Finish button on the top right-hand side of the screen. Now to actually assign this to my class, I'm going to click on Assign. Here you'll see you're given the option to select which Google Classroom you want to assign this video to. Then you can also click a start and end date for this video, and you'll see that the default setting below has Prevent Skipping turned on. With Prevent Skipping turned on, students will not be able to fast forward through their video, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a minute. If you turn on closed captioning, students will have the option to watch the video with closed captioning, so I do like to turn this option on. And then lastly, if you select Post to Google Classroom, that will automatically post this Edpuzzle to your Google Classroom. As I showed in the beginning, I typically embed an Edpuzzle video into another assignment, so I usually do not post the Edpuzzle video directly to Google Classroom. Once you're ready to assign the video, click on the blue Assign button on the bottom of the screen. And then in order to generate a link to be able to share with your students if you're not posting it on Google Classroom, you want to click on the blue Share Assignment button on the bottom right-hand corner. Here you'll see that you have an assignment link that you can copy and then add as a hyperlink to another document if you're using that strategy. Okay, now let's look at what Edpuzzle would look like from the student's perspective. First, the student would log into Google Classroom, open the assignment, and then click on the link that will take them directly to Edpuzzle. They'll be asked to sign in with the same email account that they use to log into Google Classroom. And after they sign in, they'll be taken directly to the video that you just created. Students hit the play button to watch the video. And then when they get to the point of the video for the question you created, it will automatically pop up on their screen and they'll make their answer choice. If they need to, they can re-watch the video in order to make sure that they got the answer correctly. After they choose their answer and hit submit, you'll see that it automatically grades it for them and tells them whether or not they got the answer correct or not. You'll see here that if you selected prevent skipping when you created the assignment, that the student is not allowed to move the video forward without actually watching it. Next, you'll see when a student gets to an open-ended question that the question pops up and they type their answer. Once the students have watched the video all the way through, as well as answered all the questions, they'll see their final score for those questions. Here, note that the student got a 6 out of 8, even though only one question was actually incorrect. That's because one of the questions is an open-ended question, and the teacher still has to grade it in order for it to count as a right answer. Back on the teacher end, you can now see how all of your students performed on the different questions that you asked on the quiz. If you're on the My Classes tab, select Do Assignments, choose the assignment you want to look at, and then click Questions to get a bigger picture overview of how your students did on individual questions that you asked. So you can see that 27 out of 52 students that were assigned this question got it correct. Note that it's still counting students who haven't even watched the video yet, which is why in this case, the number of correct answers looks relatively low in comparison to the total number of students. Then if you want to take a closer look at how an individual student performed, go to the Students tab and then click on a student's name. There you can see their overall grade, the percentage of the video that they watched, how many correct answers they got on the video, as well as the overall time they spent on the video and when they completed the assignment. When you scroll down, you can see how the student did on specific questions. And then if you ask the student an open-ended question, you can give that open-ended question a grade as well as add a comment. Next to the My Classes tab, you'll see that there's a gradebook tab that will give you a bigger picture overview of how your students have done on all the assignments that you've given them through Edpuzzle. Back on the student end, when they click on the Completed Assignment tab, they'll see the final grade that they got on their video. The last thing I want to show you is where you can find pre-created Edpuzzle lessons. You'll see at the top of popular channels that the first option is Edpuzzle. Here, just like YouTube, you can enter a search term for a video that you're looking for, and that will display videos that teachers have already created and chosen to share. The little icon with a number right underneath the video indicates that a teacher also already created questions for this video. First, select the video, and then at the bottom right-hand side, you'll see that there's an option to edit it. Here you're given the same choices to cut the video, to add your own voiceover, or to add or edit questions. Under the Questions tab, you'll see that you can select a question that the teacher already created, and then if you want to edit it, you can click on the pencil icon below. Here, just like when you're creating your own question, you can edit the question or the answer choices. And once you're ready to assign it, just go up to the blue Finish button, and then you can repeat the process of assigning that video to your students. I hope this video helped you learn how to create a custom video watching experience for your students using Edpuzzle. If you have any questions about how I use Edpuzzle, please ask in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching my video to the end. If you found the tips that I shared helpful, please share it with other teachers that you know, hit the like button, and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any of my weekly updates. You can also check out some of the other tutorials I have on my channel by clicking on one of those 2 videos above. And if you're interested in downloading any of the resources that I've created and show on my videos, please visit my website at www.newedtechclassroom.com. Lastly, if you want to check me out on social media, my Twitter handle, Facebook page, and Pinterest account are all in the description below. Thanks so much and have a great week.